Hi, my dear students. I am once again welcoming you to the Prcc classes. In this Prcc class, we are discussing about the emotional intelligence. This is the most important concept. Emotional intelligence. Bhavanatmaka buddhivantike. Emotional intelligence is the very important concept. Here in the emotional intelligence, we discussing about the concept called as the meaning of emotional intelligence. The meaning of emotional intelligence. Here, what is meant by emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, accept, and recognize our own our own emotions and feelings, including their impact on ourselves and other people, and to use this knowledge to improve our own behavior as well as to manage and improve our relationship with others. See, this is what we called as emotional intelligence, meaning of emotional intelligence. Here, emotions. Emotions is nothing but it is a inner feelings. It is a inner feelings. It is the ability to understand the inner feelings, inner emotions, emotions such as sentiment, such as angry, sadness, happiness, cheerfulness, irritation, egoism. See, these are all what we called as the emotions of individual person. The emotions of individual person, it needs to control it. Why? Because it has its great impact on our mind. So that purpose, we should study about the inner feelings and how to control the inner feelings, thoughts, and opinions, and how to improve our relationship with others. So, each and everything what we called as it is a study about the inner feelings, thoughts, opinions, how to control, then how to improve it, as well as how to control these emotions, because of human beings emotions is very dangerous for others as well as us. Therefore, it is very important to improve interpersonal relationship also. We should study about the emotional intelligence. This is about the meaning of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is nothing but it is a ability to understand and identify the inner feelings and their impact, and the knowledge of the inner feelings and the impact it helps to improve our interpersonal relationship. This is what we called as emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence name itself tells us to control our emotions by using our knowledge of intelligence. So the name tells us to control our emotions by using our knowledge as intelligence. So this knowledge intelligence works as to control the emotions. This is the meaning of the emotional intelligence. Here, ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ. ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆ ಮತ್ತು ವರ್ತನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸುವ, ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಹಾಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ, ಹಾಗೂ ಇತರರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಉಂಟಾಗುವ ಪರಿಣಾಮವನ್ನ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡು ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗದಂತೆ ನಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆ ಮತ್ತು ವರ್ತನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ದುಃಖ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇರಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಸಹ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವರ ವರ್ತನೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಡಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಮಾತುಗಳು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಪದಗಳು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಕೋಪ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು ಒಂಥರ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಂತೋಷ ಆದಾಗ ಒಂಥರ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ದುಃಖ ಆದಾಗ ಒಂಥರ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್, the emotional intelligence is nothing but to control our emotions such as sadness, irritation, cheerfulness, happiness. So each and every emotion is very very essential. It needs to control, it needs to has certain sum of limit. Keeps on, we are going to cry means we are going to decline and going to frustrate our mind. So much of situation, we have so much of stress on our mind. So in that situation, it is over stress means what happens? It leads to frustration. Frustration leads to sadness. Sadness leads to suicide of individual persons. Therefore, it is very very dangerous. Without controlling our emotions, we can't achieve the success in our life. If we control our emotions, we are very easily gaining, we are very easily reaching our goals, thoughts and opinions. So that is what we called as the emotional intelligence. That is what we called as the emotional intelligence. This is about the meaning of emotional intelligence. After this, the next important question here, components. Components or areas or characteristics or elements of emotional intelligence, or elements of emotional intelligence. This is the 6 marks question. So components andru onde, areas andru onde, characteristics andru onde, and the elements andru onde. So this is the emotional intelligence, components, elements and the characteristics. So here the most important person is a Daniel Goleman. He is the most important person. He is the international psychologist, ಮನಃಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಜ್ಞ, ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮನಃಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಜ್ಞ. ಮಾನವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತವನು, ಅವರ ವರ್ತನೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಭಾವನೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಡೇನಿಯಲ್ ಗೋಲಿಮ್ಯಾನ್. Daniel Goleman is a international psychologist. He study about the human behavior, human thoughts, how the humans are reacting in certain situation. They feel irritation, they feel unhappy, they feel sadness. So these are all emotions, these are all feelings is deeply studied by the Daniel Goleman. So therefore, he identified and given the 5 most important components of the emotional intelligence. Is the first one is self-awareness. The first one is self-awareness. And the second one is self-regulation. And the third one is internal motivation. And the fourth one is empathy. And the fifth one is social skills. These 5 is very very important components of emotional intelligence. In this, the first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Self-awareness ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇದು very very important ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So self-awareness means what? Self-awareness is nothing but, in a simple terms, it is a self-analysis. What we are, what are the capabilities we have, what is the strength of, what is the weaknesses we have, what is the opportunities we have, how to gain that opportunities, how to reach or how to use that opportunities in a systematic and a scientific manner. Each and every points, it is called as the self analysis of your strength, weakness, opportunities and difficulties. This is what we called as self awareness. It refers to the ability to recognize and understand the personal moods and emotions as well as their effect on others. It is the ability to know what one feels. This includes self-confidence, a sound sense of oneself, worth and capabilities. Self-assessment means knowing one's strengths and limits. See what they are telling us, a self-awareness is nothing but it is a self-analysis. We should recognize, we should identify what is the emotions we have. In a so many time, we have the happiness or we have the sadness. So this is the most important concept or the component of emotional intelligence. In this emotional intelligence, the persons they must and should identify or recognize their emotions. This is the ability of one individual person. So this is based on the self-confidence and self-assessment. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅರಿವು. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅರಿವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಗಳನ್ನ ಅರಿತುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಹಾಗೂ ತನ್ನಿಂದ ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಂಟಾಗುವಂತಹ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅರಿವು. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅರಿವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅರಿವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, self awareness is nothing but you should aware about yourself. You should analysis about yourself, what you are. So what is the capabilities? Limits is nothing but the weakness. What are the weakness you have? So this is the self awareness, the first component of the emotional intelligence. Self awareness is nothing but you should analyze yourself. And the second one is self-regulation. Self-regulation. Here the self-regulation is nothing but it refers to the ability to control or redirect disruptive impulse and moods. The ability to regulate the distressing effect of the negative emotions and to inhibit emotional detachment and impassivity. See, self-regulation is very, very important. You should maintain your personal rules and regulations to lead a life in the society. Why? Because each and every person must and should possess their own rules and regulations. Without their own rules and regulations, we are unable to get a success in our life. Therefore, one must and should regulate their life. They must and should avoid the disruptive impulse is nothing but the negative thoughts and the negative moods. The negative thoughts and the negative moods, you should remove the negative thoughts and the negative moods and you should fill it with the positive thoughts and the positive opinions. It includes the trustworthiness and comfort with ambiguity, openness to change, transparency, adaptability, initiative, optimism, self-control. These points tells us the rules of the self-analysis. The rules of the self-analysis is nothing but you should maintain the trust. Trust is nothing but the believeness. Believeness is very, very essential. And the integrity means the complete efforts. And the comfort with ambiguity is nothing but you should comfort with the difficult. Openness to change is nothing but you should change if necessary. You should maintain the transparent information. And the adaptability is nothing but you should adopt the positive thoughts and affirmative statements. You should take the initiative. You should optimum utilize your resources. You should control yourself. So this points tells us how you are regulating yourself. Self-regulations. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ನೀತಿ ನಿಯಮಗಳು. ಸ್ವಯಂ ನೀತಿ ನಿಯಮಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನೀತಿ ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪಾಲಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀತಿ ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಡೆದು ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದಂತಹ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದಿ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟು ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಫ್. Why? Because it is very, very essential. The self-regulations only control the each and every one's life success. Therefore, if you get success, it is very, very essential to maintain the self-regulations. After that, the third one here, internal motivation. Here, what it means, the internal motivation. Internal motivation is nothing but it is also a component of the emotional intelligence. People with emotional intelligence are very motivated. They are highly productive way to improve or meet the organizational goals and face the embrace is nothing but face the challenges. A passion to work for internal reasons that go beyond money and status, which are external rewards, such as inner vision of what is important in our life. See, internal motivation. Motivation is nothing but encouragement. Motivation is nothing but the encouragement. Here, how the encouragement is placed is nothing but each and every emotional, intelligent person is self-motivated. He himself motivated to achieve the organizational goals and to face the challenges. This is very, very important. So, component of emotional intelligence. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆಂತರಿಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನು ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರೇರೇಪಣೆ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನೇ ಪ್ರೇರೇಪಣೆಗೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಆ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅವನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು ಸಫಲವಾಗಿ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತಾನೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್. It is the internal motivation is nothing but who has the emotional intelligence, one who should know about to control their emotions, they become called as the emotional intelligent person. These type of emotional intelligent persons, they are internally motivated and they fulfill the organizational and individual objectives. This is the another component of emotional intelligence. After that, the empathy. After that, the empathy. Empathy is nothing but the concern towards others. The concern towards another persons. Here, what they are telling us, the ability to understand the wants and needs and viewpoints of other people. This is what we called as empathy. It is a concern towards the other people. Paranubhuti, ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಹಾನುಭೂತಿಯನ್ನ. People are excellent. Empathic people are excellent at managing the relationships, listening and relating to others, and will give praise and encouragement for other people achievements. This includes expertise in building and relating talent, cross culture sensitivity, service to clients and customers. These are all the important points which expresses empathical people. Who is the empathical people means who knows to control their emotions, their thoughts, their feelings, their beliefs and opinions. This type of persons what we call as empathical persons. ಪರಾನುಭೂತಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು. ಈ ಪರಾನುಭೂತಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನ ನೀಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಜೊತೆ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲಿಸ್ನಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ the emotional intelligence. Because of the emotional intelligence, they must and should possess the empathy. This is the another component of the emotional intelligence. After that, the last point here, social skills. The last point here, the social skills. ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳು. So people with high emotional intelligence skills are excellent at interacting with others. They have strong interpersonal relationship, are good team players, skilled at handling conflict and excellent to building the positive relationship. This includes effectiveness in leading change, persiveness, expertise building and leading teams. See, what we are called these social skills. Skills is very, very essential to each and every individual persons. Without skills, the society cannot give a prize and reward. The society cannot give a respect to you. In that situation, you feel insecure to lead life in this society. Therefore, it is very, very essential. People must and should study about the emotional intelligence. If the people has emotional intelligence, they are very easily handling the conflicts, the problems, and they are very excellent to build the positive relationship with friends, family members, each and every person. So this includes effectiveness in each and every activity, in each and every situation. So that is what we call as the social skills, also the component of the emotional intelligence. Without emotional intelligence, we can't possess, we can't show the social skills of the individual persons. These are all the components of emotional intelligence. Once again, we are recalling this. The first one is the self-awareness. Second one is the self-regulation. And the third one is the internal motivation. And the fourth one is the empathy. And the fifth one is the social skills. After that, the next most important concept here, the 10 tips for become the emotional intelligence. Sir, I have one question. So now we are discussing about the meaning of the emotional intelligence and the components of the emotional intelligence. So now one question is rising in my mind. What is that question means? Sir, how to develop the emotional intelligence? We don't know how to develop the emotional intelligence. When you don't know how to develop your emotional intelligence, here I am giving the 10 tips. 10 tips is nothing but the techniques. Techniques are ways to develop your emotional intelligence. How to control your emotions, how to handle your emotions, how to motivate your emotions as your success of the life. Each and everything is possible because of these 10 tips. So in that, the first tip is, the first tip is to take responsibility, to take responsibility for your own emotions. This is the first technique or tip we are using to develop our emotional intelligence. So here, take responsibility of your own emotions is nothing but you should give a respect to your emotions. In certain situation, you feel happiness, sadness, irritation, you should give respect to your emotions. So what impact is happens in your mind? This is very, very essential. You should know about your emotions. You should think about your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings. Each and everything is very, very essential. If you are not giving the responsibility to your emotions is in the negative ways. Therefore, you should control it. You should give the or take responsibility for each and every emotions what happens in your mind. And after that, the second one here, aware of how you react to another people, especially in stressful situation. This is very very important to develop the emotional intelligence. ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೊಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಧಾನಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ವಿಧಾನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನೇದೇನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಒತ್ತಡದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. So this is very very important, how we are respond in the stressful situations. Why? Because so many people, they are acting in stressful situations so angry, and some people, they are calmly solving each and every problems. Some people, they are very arrogant. Some people, they are very comfort. So each and every comfort, arrogant, each and every one, it must be assessed by individual persons. So that is very very important. When we control our emotions, when we develop the emotional intelligence, it is very very essential, should know about the how you are reacting in the others, in front of the others in a stressful situation. ಒತ್ತಡದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. After that, the third one here, the third one here, work your positive feelings. Work your positive feelings is nothing but you must and should maintain the positive feelings, thoughts, emotions. Positive feelings, emotions, thoughts is very very important. It gives the refreshment to your mind. It gives the refreshment to your mind. So therefore you must and should maintain the positive feelings. It leads to develop the emotional intelligence. After that, the fourth one here, the fourth one here, think first about how your actions might affect others. You primarily, you should think about your feelings. Primarily you should think about your feelings, how it will be affected to others. When we are when we are speak anything in front of others, how they feel, how they react, this is very very important. When we are thinking about this, we should easily develop the emotional intelligence. After that, the fifth one here, the fifth one here, the fifth one here, examine your own feelings rather than actions of others. Examine your own feelings is nothing but your feelings must be evaluate yourself before going to implement. Before going to implement is means, before is doing, we should analyze our feelings, how it will be give the effects or reactions. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸಿಕ್ಸ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, rise above uncomfortable emotions by developing copying strategies. Copying strategies is nothing but, in this society, so many people we've seen, so many people we've seen, so many people we are communicating. In that situation, so many situation gives the different experience for us. In this different experience, we should decide whether it is comfortable for us or not. If it is favorable to you, you should decide. You should copy that plan or strategy in your life also. This is the another most important point to develop the emotional intelligence. ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು, ಯೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಹಲವಾರು ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಹಬಾಂಧವ್ಯ, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ನಿಲುವಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲೂ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಿಸ್, ದ ಸೆವೆಂತ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ respect other people's feelings also. Why? Because if your feeling is right, then their feels right. So you should respect your feelings as well as others feelings also. Why? Because they also has a good feelings, good thoughts, good opinions. In this situation they feel very happy. When you respect other people's feelings, they feel very happy, and also they give respect for your feelings also. In that situation, interpersonal relationships become develops. After this, the next one is listen twice as much as you are speak. What they are telling us, you should listen carefully what is the opposite person is telling us, in what tone they are telling us, in what volume they are telling us. Each and everything you should listen. After the twice listening, you should speak for their actions. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ 2-3 ಸಲ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಆಗಲೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. And the ninth one here, resolve conflict quickly, apologies directly if or at fault. If any mistake is done by the individual person, he should say them sorry. It is right thing. If we do the wrong thing, it is very, very important to say them sorry. It solves so many problems, solves so many conflicts, as well as it develops the interpersonal relationship. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ತಪ್ಪನ್ನ ಮೋಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಷಮೆಯನ್ನ ಯಾಚಿಸಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. And the last point here, maintain support and others will respond positively. Maintain support is nothing but the support and the coordination is very, very essential to develop the emotional intelligence. ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಹಕಾರ ಸಮನ್ವಯತೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಸರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. These are all tips tells us how to develop the emotional intelligence, how to control our emotions, and to get the success in our life.